Hi everyone, welcome back to Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. We're live from the Mugello circuit in Italy. Here we are then at this wonderful circuit of Mugello for the penultimate round of Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. The mix of Pirelli and Pirelli AM drivers, joined also by Pirelli AM drivers from Asia Pacific, as well as Shell drivers from Asia Pacific and Shell AM drivers from Asia Pacific as well, because the final two rounds of their series taking place in Italy, here in Mugello, and of course at the World Finals to come in Imola in 3 weeks' time. So there we have it, and wow, what a scene is set for Ferrari Challenge in terms of Europe, because Doriane from Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli for the Scuderia Nicky Iron Lynx team could and should seal the championship this afternoon. Could happen. Probably will happen. There's Thomas Neubauer. Meantime, let's go down onto the grid with Marietta.
Welcome back to the grid. All eyes, of course, this afternoon are on Doriane Payne, because she is on pole and she's surrounded by so much support by the Iron. I don't know if we can get a quick word with her. We're going to try to get a quick word with her. Obviously, Doriane, we can't deny this is such an important race for you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I'm focused for the start, and then when the first lap is done, I need just to be consistent and everything, but it will be good.
We'll let you get focused on this.
Sorry?
We'll let you go on focus.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, there's Doriane Payne then, seemingly in quite a happy place. There's Luca Nurmi that we can see there. Luca Nurmi with quite some work to do, because he's qualified way down the order. He's on the third row of the grid, which is unlikely and unusual for Luca Nurmi. This is John Vortique, another driver that's perhaps qualified out of position. He's going from P5. He's another one of our Trofeo Pirelli drivers. Now, the Pirelli drivers have a red sun strip across the top of the windscreen. The AM drivers have a white strip across the top of the windscreen. That's how you can identify the drivers. And of course, we also have our Asia Pacific drivers, including Uchida there, as you can see, on board, and he's taken some air on board just to cool everything ahead of the start of the race. The color codes, they're red for Europe, they're yellow for Asia Pacific. Let's go back to Marietta.
And if there is anybody who can stop Doriane Payne being champion today, that is John Vortique. John, how are you feeling ahead of the race? Can you stop Doriane becoming champion today?
Yeah, to be honest, it's a very difficult weekend for me. Every single set of tires, new tires, have been blocked. So, yeah, P5 on the grid, I think it's not really my position where I should be, but let's see. Everything can happen at the start, and I will try to do a clean race.
Thank you very much.
There's no question about it. John is a hugely talented driver, and the odds are stacked against him, to be honest, as Luca Nurmi then big thumbs up and fingers crossed then ahead of the start of his race. He has big GT3 racing ambitions, does the very talented young man Luca Nurmi. So it's Doriane Payne and Thomas Neubauer going from P1 and P2 respectively for the Pirelli drivers. For the AM drivers, it's Nigel Schoendeverd, who had a brilliant qualifying, and Onge Bardi, who of course secured the Pirelli AM championship just yesterday. And there we can see Thomas Neubauer then taking on some water ahead of the start of the race. And it's going to be a drag race into turn number 1, that's for sure. There's no question about that. Thomas Neubauer, if anyone is going to stop Doriane Payne from sealing that pole position and converting it into P1, then Thomas Neubauer, who's certainly a very determined driver, he stands a very good chance of doing that. We will see, because Doriane is made of stern and wise stuff, that's for sure. And we haven't yet ruled out Alessio Dono, who was very, very quick yesterday, did a good job in qualifying, has put the car on P3. So there you can see the grid with the Scuderia Nicky Iron Lynx driver on the left-hand side of the screen there, and that is Doriane Penn going from P1. This is where we are then. We'd love you to be part of the social media family. Follow us on @Ferrari Races. We would love you to do that. Be part of the Ferrari family and enjoy everything that the Ferrari Challenge can offer you. 23 degrees the air temperature, 29 the track temperature at the moment. There's just a little tickle of wind of merely 9 kilometers per hour, which should not affect things. We're going to take a look at the Mugello circuit as Doriane Penn then is given the final crash helmet pat by way of good luck. So it's a long drag into turn number 1. Then you roll uphill through turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the first sector of this demanding and technical Mugello circuit. Then downhill through turns 7, 8, climb again through 9, then the chicane at 10 and 11, and then through turns 12, 13, and 14. It's all about setting yourself up for the perfect trajectory through the start-finish straight here at Mugello. Those images are absolutely wonderful as we've celebrated 30 years of the Ferrari Challenge this year. And it's only fitting and right and proper that we celebrate the latest car that has formed such a part of the Ferrari Challenge. The 488 Challenge Evo car is the car of choice for this one-make series at the moment. And Ange Bardi takes on... I don't know why he's looking stressed today. He sealed the Trofeo Pirelli AM Championship yesterday. But of course, Ange Bardi being Ange Bardi, he wants to take the win today. And an interesting fact about Ange, he took the championship yesterday. When he first won a Ferrari Challenge championship, Doriane Penn had not even been born. He didn't thank me for telling him that. Alongside me is the current Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli champion, Michel Gatting, who of course drove for Scuderia Nicky Iron Lynx. Good afternoon, Michel. Thank you for joining us. It's really kind of you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
If I may say, I followed your career for a number of years and been the voice of your career for a number of years. I didn't think I'd meet anyone as talented as you until I met Doriane. She's good.
Yeah, the little pocket rocket. Yeah, she definitely has it in her. She's extremely fast, extremely talented. We saw it for the first time when we met her last year that there was definitely a huge potential in her, and she's proving it here in Ferrari Challenge. And also we had her on the car for a few races in ELMS. She will join us in Portimao next week for ELMS, and yeah, there's a good reason for that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We'll be hearing from Michel during the course of the race, and here it comes. Absolutely thrilled that Michel Gatting is alongside us here in comms then as we bring you the grid in full. Going from pole position, can she seal the championship this afternoon? Doriane Penn, Thomas Neubauer alongside Alessio Dono is very quick. So too is Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. All eyes are going to be on turn number 1. John Vortique and Luca Nurmi, they're on the third row of the grid. They go from P5 and P6. The best of the AM drivers is Nigel Schoendevert. He goes from P8. Niccolo Marangelli goes from P7. Then it's Onjibadi, the Trofeo Pirelli Am champion. He took the deal yesterday. Niccolo Rosi with another good qualifying. He goes alongside him. Then it's Christian Brunsborg and Max Mugello. A mix of Trofeo Pirelli Am and Trofeo Pirelli drivers on that row. Yude Ujida and Nobuhiro Imada, the two drivers from Trofeo Pirelli Am and Asia Pacific, ahead of Alessandro Cozzi and Hanno Laskovski. They are going from P15 and P16. Alexander Bochet and Kazuyuki Yamaguchi, they're on the 9th row of the grid. It's P17 and P18. Bear in mind we have Asia Pacific drivers with us this weekend. Mikhail Bochet and Jay Park is another one of those Asia Pacific drivers. They are P19 and P20. Motohiko Isozaki and Baby K are P21 and P22, with Shigeru Kamui and Germano Salernitano going from P23 and P24. David Dicker, which is the least challenging Asia Pacific name, and alongside is Yugura. You're laughing at me, Michelle. I've tried to make a career out of this, you know.
I'm just impressed of how well you're pronouncing the names.
There's the boss we saw just
There's the boss.
Deborah Mayer and Claudia Schiavone as well. Scuderia Nicky, Iron Lynx. Last year, you know, engineered a perfect car for you. You had to pedal it, of course you did. They've done exactly the same this year with Doriane, haven't they? They are a team to be relied upon as a racing driver, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Iron Lynx and Iron Dames project is really a team that is in huge progress. I mean, we are growing and growing. Even sometimes we cannot follow ourselves because the team is just getting bigger and bigger. And I mean, Deborah and Claudio, they are here to prove that they want to win races and championships. And I mean, me winning the championship last year, that was one thing. Hopefully Dorian finishing the job today. And apart from that, we are competing in a lot of other championships with Iron Dames and the team Iron Lynx, and also fighting there for winning races and championships.
And of course, not only here you this weekend, but Rahal is here as well, supporting as well. It's a really nice bond that you all seem to have within the team.
Yeah, Sarah is here as well, actually. So we are all here to support Dory this weekend. They were here last year for me as well, and we want to prove that we are, at the end of the day, we are a huge family, a huge team, and we're here to support each other.
Uber competitive as well. Right. Stand by, hold on to everything that might be loose fitting about your person, because we are about to go racing. Safety car peels off into the pit lane. It is the responsibility of Dorian Penn and Thomas Neubauer to control the pace of the rolling start. Who is going to go into turn number 1 in the lead? Hold on, we are about to find out. So the lights go out then, and it's a good start from Thomas Neubauer, who's going to best Dorian Penn into turn number 1. Keep your eyes on Alicia O'Donnell as well, and also Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. And look at this, Thomas Neubauer then, and then it's almost 3 abreast going into turn number 1. But what a drive there, absolutely extraordinary around the outside. This is a wonderful move from John Vorteeg. I really didn't see that coming. Michelle,
wow,
what a drive.
What a start. I mean, I raced against John last year, and he was impressive in the start, and he just proved that again. Wow, I did not expect that.
You've got to have exceptional things, haven't you, to go around the outside of turn 1 on relatively cold tyres?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, John has proven a lot over the years that he has massive car control, and he went for it. John is so motivated this weekend, and Dory just needs to settle now and take it easy. I think she just needs a few laps, and she will get back in there. But what a start from John.
I don't doubt you're absolutely right. Doriane is something of a cool cucumber, and actually she never ever looks phased. Of course, it's all about points accumulation, isn't it? And she will be very conscious of that. John Vorteeg, meantime, wow, what a start from him. There is Dorian Penn, and of course betwixt the two of them is Thomas Neubauer, who has only done a part campaign this year, and we know that Thomas Neubauer is a hugely determined driver. I'm trying to be politically correct here. He will really go for it, but of course Dorian has got to try and find a way by Thomas Neubauer, and Dorian's got to be very careful how she does that.
Yeah, but she knows. I mean, we warned her a little bit about Neubauer, but in the end of the day, I mean, they are racing driver, they know how to handle the situations, but for sure Thomas will fight to keep the position. But right now they are actually just giving the space to John. But in the end of the day, for Dory's perspective, she basically just needs to finish the race, and she knows it. But knowing Dory, she also wants to win the race. But right now, John looks strong.
And that is the thing, isn't it, Michelle? I mean, you're a hugely successful racing driver. If you're a racing driver, P2 or 3 doesn't count, does it? You want to win.
Yeah, you want to win. And this was also the speech of Dory before the race. I mean, we were like, Dory, you just need to finish. And she looked at us like we were completely dumb, all of us. Like, I don't want to just finish the race. I want to win. We know that. I mean, this should be the mentality. They all want to win in the end of the day, but right now, John looks strong.
He does. He's built a margin of 1.078 already, which is amazing. It's just that start. Wait till we get the start replay. I'll be able to pick it up better because I certainly didn't see that coming. Let's take a look at the Pirelli AMs. Nigel Schundeberg is leading that ahead of Ongebody, the current new Pirelli AM champion, ahead of Nicola Rossi, who qualified really well and is steadfast in that P3 place as we watch Doriane Pin then chasing down Thomas Neubauer. All got great pace and they're beginning to break away a little bit from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. And the star of the show yesterday, the very young CDP best lap driver, Alessio Dono, who is extraordinarily fast as Nigel Schundeberg under attack from Ongebody. Now, Onge, again, typical hard racing driver. He wants to win the final race of the weekend here in Mugello as well. You can see him flashing your lights. And Michelle, I'm going to ask you this question. Are you ever put off by a driver behind you flashing his lights? It seems to me it's completely blooming futile.
Well, some drivers, they are actually losing the concentration when they are getting flashed. So that's why we as driver, we sometimes do it. I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me.
No.
Because in endurance racing, we are flashing each other a lot.
Yes. Oh, and that's Nicola Rossi.
That's going to be a safety car.
Who was P3. Nicola Rossi is out. That's a great shame. You can see the car parked up there. And the Cassel racing driver who, Michelle, is Nicolo is one of these drivers. We've seen him improve and improve and improve on the 2 or 3 years he's been in the Ferrari Challenge, and he really is on top of his game now. He's had some great results this season and richly deserved, and his qualifying today was really good. They're late in calling the safety car, in my opinion, as Luca Nurmi is attacking Alessio Dono ahead here, but we are expecting the safety car to be called for any moment. Now, quite what happened to Nicola Rossi, presumably we'll get a replay and we will be able to find out. But John Boutique is continuing to lead by a huge margin of 1.4 seconds. Make that 1.585 as they go through the sector line with a fastest lap of a 151.423. So John absolutely on a mission. Now, we've only got a localized yellow flag, which if we can get away with that, it's better for the racing, but perhaps not better for necessarily Doriane.
No, maybe not for Dory. For sure, John is hoping that it will stay just a yellow flag, but I'm sure Dory is maybe hoping for a safety car. Maybe also Thomas Neubauer and some of the other guys, but for sure for the racing it's always better without the safety car, at least.
So, and
there we go.
There you have the magic touch, not only of the steering wheel, but with the microphone as well, because the moment you mention it, there it is. Wow. Heaven help me. I wonder if you could take a look at my bank account, Michelle. You might be able to help me with that. So, John Boutique, Thomas Neubauer, Doriane Penn then, and team boss here, who's, she's great, isn't she? She's so charismatic.
Yes, yes, we all love her, that's for sure.
That was Thomas Neubauer. So, John Boutique then.
Where is
See, at the moment,
from?
He's
Wow.
there, look. With Emanuele Maria Tabacchi.
How is he managing that?
He just weaved through there like a hot knife through butter, didn't he?
Impressive.
It was an impressive drive from
Wow.
John.
He started P5, no?
Yeah, he was, you know, his qualification was atrocious. And I spoke to him at lunch and I said, what are you going to do, John? He said, all I can do is give it 100%, Dave. There's nothing else I can do. Well, I think he gave it 105.
Impressive.
There's Claudio Schiavone and Deborah Mayer. Look, smiles from Deborah. Claudio, not quite so. He, of course, is a good peddler himself, Michelle.
Yes, absolutely. But two very, very passionate people. So it's amazing to have them around us, supporting us. But a lot of, I mean, Claudio is Italian, and you have no doubt about that. When he's in the car and outside the car, it's a lot of emotions, which we love to see from both of them.
And in fairness, Deborah has competed in the Ferrari Challenge herself to some great success as well. So they know what they're talking about, don't they? And certainly from everyone that I speak to with your team, they are wonderful people to work with rather than work for, because it is very much a team and you're all included.
Yeah.
So you can see the progression chart on the left-hand side. Thomas Neubauer, exactly as Michelle said, moved up 4 places from P5 on the grid. Absolutely remarkable stuff as we see Nicolo Rossi regrettably make it to the safety area, and he will be taking no further part in this race, and that is a great shame. So it is Vortiek, Neubauer and Penn ahead of Tabaki, Dono, Nurmi, then it's Marin Angeli, Nigel Schundeverd still holding on to that Trofeo Pirelli Am lead ahead of Ongibardi, and then it is Uchida, who is P3. So Nicolo Rossi, let's pick the bones out of this. Turning in, turning in, turning in.
He just slowed down.
So absolutely no contact, no other car involved at all.
Technical issue.
And that's very rare. That's very rare. So great shame for Nicolo Rossi, who, as I said, I've extolled his virtue this year because I really do feel, and you can see, you know, as a driver, Michelle, and you've been through this. You've been through the highs and the lows of motor racing for so many years. It really hurts when it's completely out of your control.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very painful. I mean, we've been through it for GT World Challenge last week in Barcelona, where we were going to win the championship, but 40 minutes before the end, we had to stop the car, retire the car due to a technical issue. It was very heartbreaking for the whole team, for all the drivers involved, and yeah, I feel for Nicolo. Yeah, I know him, I've followed him also from Challenge last year, and I've definitely seen the progress he has made. So he made a huge step, so yeah, it hurts to see.
It's something that we often say, perhaps without the authority that I should say, but you know, you hear drivers say you win and lose as a team. That really is true, isn't it, Michelle? I mean, you know, you're at the sharp end. Obviously, you're in the car. You've got to deliver. But you rely on so many other people to deliver as well and do their part. Absolutely.
No, like you say, yeah, we win and lose as a team. And yeah, it's painful, especially also when there's basically nothing to do and it's a technical failure and nobody can do anything about it. But it's a part of the game. In the end of the day, those cars are amazing, but sometimes they break down, and it happens.
Yes, it is one of those things. You know, you can have tires let go, you can have all sorts of things that happen, and of course there's absolutely nothing you can do to control that. So during the safety car phase then, we remind you that it's John Vortiek and Thomas Neubauer and Doriane Penno, the top 3 in terms of Trofeo Pirelli. Trofeo Pirelli Am for Europe, it's Nigel Schundeverd, Ongibardi, and then it is going to be Christian Brunsborg, who is 3rd in Trofeo Pirelli Am at the moment. Christian Brunsborg is one of those drivers that's had good luck and bad luck in equal measure. As, my goodness me, there's a match of 2 characters, if ever there was one. Axel Sardigan, who is an extraordinary character, chatting to Claudio Schiavone there from Iron Lynx, and the safety car is coming in this lap.
Yeah. Back to racing.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. We've still got 20 minutes on the clock. We're very conscious of the fact we've only got Michelle available to us for another 7 minutes. Otherwise, she's going to whoop me because you've got a flight to catch. Same as I, and I think you're going to have more luck today than I'm going to have, truthfully. But
you never know.
On board with Max Mugello here. And there we can see, I mean, it's wonderful, our Asia-Pacific friends. Of course, there are so many regions of the Ferrari Challenge. There is Europe, the UK, North America, and Asia-Pacific. In fact, at the moment, it's only my lack of language skills that's prevented me from making a debut in Asia-Pacific quite as often as I would like to. But don't seem to have a problem in North America or the UK. Funny that. We will see as we are about to go racing once again. So, in this situation, when you've had a safety car phase, Michelle, drivers focus on trying to keep some temperature into those tyres, isn't it?
Yeah, it's important with the temperature in the tyres. Dori had a restart yesterday, and it was not too good, so she needs to be more on it today and stay close to Neubauer, because normally Neubauer is very strong also at the restart after the safety car. John is very good of keeping heat into his tyres. He's very aggressive. So let's see, but I can already feel Dori sitting here, that she is on it. So
the spirit is transcending from the tarmac up into the commentary studio. My goodness, Michelle. You are made of clever stuff indeed. John Vortiek, of course, the big loser. He'd built up a good margin, hadn't he? Oh. And now he controls the pace of the restart. Looks like Thomas Neubauer is trying to anticipate when John Vortiek goes for it. He goes for it now. You climb uphill in 2 stages, really, over the start-finish straight. It's a difficult one to get right, Michelle.
Absolutely, but the first 3 of them, they managed very well. Tabaki is falling a little bit back, but it looks like the race might be between those three drivers here in front. Neubauer is trying to put a little bit of pressure on Vortic. I'm not sure that's helping.
Well, let's see. Meantime, Onge is having his own battles there. Onge wants to be on terms with Nigel Schoeneveld, who got a big sideways moment on there, and looked to me like Max Mugello, who of course is a Pirelli driver rather than a Pirelli AM driver, got by Onge. So here are the top three then, who have broken away just a little bit from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. And it is John Vortic from Thomas Neubauer and Doriane Penn then. Doriane Penn looks closer to Neubauer than Neubauer does to John Vortic. And of course, the more Doriane is able to pressure Neubauer, he's not going to be able to attack Vortic ahead.
No. Yeah, but again, I mean, also Neubauer is not a driver that you can put easily pressure on. I know he's very focused on John. But I must say also Tabacchi is doing a very good job keeping up with Doriane. I know Emanuele has been out from racing for a year now. But he's also a very, very fast driver in the Ferrari Challenge. So doing a good job keeping up with Doriane and keeping Elisio behind.
Yes, I agree with that. He is he's an extraordinary, something like an enigma, is Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. He doesn't always take the most orthodox routes around any given track, but he seems to make it work. And to be fair, you're absolutely right. He's blisteringly quick, and he is showing a clean pair of heels to Alicia Dono at the moment. Those two running in P4 and P5. So there we follow from our drone cam. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi ahead of Alicia Dono, as here comes Doriane Penn then and Thomas Neubauer. The heat is hotting up. How can the heat hot up? Well, watch this, because this is what's happening. Doriane Penn then flashing her lights, trying to get Thomas Neubauer to break focus and concentration just for a moment. Doriane takes a look at the outside here. She pulls alongside Thomas Neubauer, but surely discretion the better part of valor. She'll tuck in behind here. She means business, Michelle.
Oh yeah, she wants to fight. She wants to fight, but yeah, now they are again gonna let go of John. So it looks like the fight might be between those two, and even Emanuele Tabacchi.
Yes.
He's coming back again.
And of course,
impressive.
Playing nicely into the hands of John Vortic. He's able to escape up the road. He's loving this and rubbing his hands with invisible soap, saying, carry on, you lot. Doriane really taking it to Thomas Neubauer, who is one of the more difficult drivers to overtake, that's for sure.
Yeah.
However, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, what Doriane has got to do here, she's in this position where she's not only hunting, but being hunted at the same time, and that's hard work, isn't it, Michelle?
Yeah, it's definitely hard work, and you see Dori had a little oversteer there. She's definitely pushing the car. Also, Neubauer clearly pushing the car a little bit over the limit, went a bit in the gravel there. So they're all fighting. They are all pushing, maybe a little bit too much, and with these cars, you easily overheat the rear tires. So now Dori has to stay calm and try not to overheat the tires, and try. Still 15 minutes of racing to go. So.
And this is something that I talk about mostly during qualifying, of course. When you go out and you qualify on those tires, you know, it must go through your mind, Michelle, that it's tire preservation, isn't it? Because the tires that you qualify on are the tires that you're going to race on, and therefore you want good tire longevity towards the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. But we saw it yesterday with Elisio Dono. He did a few more laps than everyone else and still managed to take the race lead from the beginning till the end, even though he did a few more laps than all the others. So for sure, in the end of the day, it's up to the driver to manage the tires. Dori flashing Neubauer again. I mean, the gap is a bit too big now to flash, but she just wanted to tell him, I'm still here. And I still want to pass.
Absolutely. This might have an impact. Just seeing and hearing that Elisio Dono has received his final warning with regards to track limits. Now, once you get your final warning, normally you get 3, don't you? And once you do the 4th, you get your knuckles wrapped by way of a time penalty. Now, that's not necessarily going to help Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, because Dono would stay in the same place on track until the result was confirmed at the end of the race, but it would help Luca Nurmi.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see Dono is a little bit more under pressure today compared to yesterday. He drove a very, very nice race yesterday without any mistakes. Obviously now he's pushing a bit more to stay in touch with Tabacchi, but what happens then is that he's overdriving a bit and going off the track limits.
Well, I want to say a huge thank you to the Trofeo Pirelli champion, Michelle Gatting, as I have 10 seconds to say cheerio before you miss your flight, and I don't want to be responsible for that. Michelle, thanks so much for spending time with us in the studio here. We really appreciate that. Get down to that team and give your spirit to Doriane for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Michelle Gatting then, the current Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli champion. And the rather more unattractive Nico Spalek will join me on the air now. And we will bring you the end of this Trofeo Pirelli race, or the final 13 minutes of this race. John Vorteek, I have to say, Nico, that overtake at the beginning of the race was something to behold.
Very attractive indeed, that overtake.
Sorry.
John Vorteek, yeah, absolutely. He wants to keep the race for the championship open as much as he can. All he can do and influence that is get P1. Everything else is out of his control. As we see a fight in the Asia Pacific, and that's Baby K going by, but
that's a perfect poetry in motion pirouette, is it not?
Absolutely, just not the right way to finish the lap.
So as things stand, and I know you're working so hard on the calculator here, even with John Vorteek winning the race, Doriane Penn finishing P3, surely that's enough, is it not?
Yes, absolutely. As long as Doriane finishes among the top 4, there is nothing, even with the fastest lap, that John Vorteek has for the moment.
Yes.
Nothing he can do about that. So Doriane, as Michelle already said, she wants to win, but equally she knows that that P3 she holds is absolutely easily enough for her.
Well, that's the very latest we have from the calculations that are being made second by second, minute by minute here in the commentary studio, as Thomas Neubauer and Doriane Penn running in that P2 and P3 place. Now, John Vorteek is the drive of his life, because he has got a margin since the safety car of 2.1 seconds over Neubauer, and over Doriane Penn it's 2.5 seconds. Brilliant driving. Ange Bardi has not been able to find his way past Nigel Schoendevoort in the battle for P1 in Trofeo Pirelli Am, which we're showing you now, although Ange Bardi is beginning to light the wick up still a little bit further now. So what can he do? And what can he do different to what he's done for the previous laps in this race? Well, you can see he can virtually weld the front of his car to the back of Nigel's car. Is it going to make a difference at the moment? Nigel doing a very good job of defending that P1 place, and why wouldn't he? He's got track position. He is P1. P2 is Ange Bardi. P3 is Christian Brunsborg in terms of European drivers. Of course, we do have a couple of... Whoa, and there's a mistake, surely, from Nigel Schoendevoort. Ran just a little bit wide. Don't think Ange was in a position where he could take advantage of that. Perhaps it wasn't a mistake from Nigel. Perhaps it was just the line that he wanted to take through there. Brilliant job being done as Luca Nurmi now. Luca Nurmi in the number 66 car. And here we can see Luca Nurmi now with Alessio Dono well within his target sights. But what have we got? 10.5 minutes of this race remaining. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi under some pressure now from Alessio Dono. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi currently running in P4. There's Alessio Dono then running in P5. It's a lowly position relative to what he was doing yesterday. But Vorteek is continuing to lead Thomas Neubauer by 2 seconds. So Marangelli and Nurmi in this fight for P6, P7 that's going on. Brilliant driving, and Luca Nurmi, who has aspirations for a GT3 professional racing career, doing a very good job in the Ferrari Challenge. Still an awfully young man with a huge amount of talent. There's no question about that. But he is feeling the pressure somewhat. So Vorteek, Neubauer, Penn. Then it is Schoendevoort, Bardet, and Brunsborg, the 1, 2, 3. So Vorteek and Neubauer and Penn. And interestingly, a time penalty is going to be awarded to car number 19. That's Alessio Dono, of 5 seconds for track limits. Now, that means that Luca Nurmi effectively overtakes Alessio Dono if everything stays the way it does at the moment. You can see the brake discs really lighting up, and well, side by side they go. I think Nurmi will have the momentum on the exit of that final turn, and sure enough he does. But there is no doubt about it here. Marangelli means business. Just under 9 minutes of the race remaining. As the way things stand at the moment, Doriane Penn would become Trofeo Pirelli champion. Dive to the inside from Marangelli, but it wasn't enough to unseat Luca Nurmi, who stays steadfast in that P6 position. So not only our Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am drivers in here, but we've got our Pirelli Am and Shell Am drivers from Asia Pacific Racing as well. And that is proving to add really to this wonderful Ferrari Challenge spectacle as the 452 car of Emada runs out into the gravel, but is able to get back onto the tarmac, therefore no harm done and nothing to impact the final 8 minutes of this. As Schoendewerder appears on our timing screen to be dropping down, and sure enough, when we see well, that's just a fault with the GPS, or not the GPS, the transponder. Well, here we can see Ange Bardi and Schoendewerder having a little bit of a moment. And the moment was such that Schoendewerder, very good avoidance there. Schoendewerder turning around there. Let's see it from being on board with Max Mugello here. So Bard on the inside, but the car is sliding because as we reach the final stages of this race, of course, the grip afforded to the drivers is somewhat less than they had at the beginning of the race because the tyres have been put through so many laps of hard-charged racing. So that does change the order somewhat. Ange Bardi leading now in Trofeo Pirelli Am. Christian Brunsborg P2, Alessandro Cozzi P3. We will take a look to see whether the stewards have judged that to have been an avoidable incident potentially. Meantime, Luca Nurmi continuing to stick his elbows out here on the Marinangeli car, which is currently the fight that's going on for P6 and P7. You can see how the times between those drivers have seesawed. Backwards, forwards, forwards, backwards. And 6.5 minutes remaining, Nico. This looks like it's a done deal for Doriane Penn, I would suggest.
I'm not going to say that. No commentators jinxed from my corner. No, Doriane Penn certainly has it all under control. She's driving very, very expertly and very smart in this race. Not overdriving, not trying anything that's absolutely not necessary. P3 will be enough for her, even though she wants to take the win. But 6 more minutes and we've seen everything and more happen in motorsports, and particularly in the Ferrari Challenge.
Absolutely. The drama comes thick and fast. It's why we love this One Make Series celebrating its 30th anniversary year this year. And it will all culminate in this wonderful finale mondiale in 3 weeks' time in Imola. If you fancy a short break in Italy, I would thoroughly recommend attendance to Finale Mondiale. It is a wonderful event. There's lots and lots for you to enjoy. And here is Luca Nurmi continuing to be chased here by Marinangeli. And wherever he places the car at the moment, well, you can see different lines being taken there to try and take advantage. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi ahead of Alessio Dono, and of course Alessio Dono with the Damoclesian sword of a time penalty that hangs over him, which means that actually it kind of doesn't matter to Luca Nurmi. Oh, and that's a big move on the inside of Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, and now that has caused damage to the car of Alessio Dono. And there's another car stricken there as well, Nico. I didn't quite pick that up. So, Alessio Dono having broken something with the contact, that means that the car is not going to be able to continue in the race. And we take a look and see whether that car is stricken or safety. Car number 2 has been given a time penalty of 5 seconds for causing a collision. And that, of course, is our Trofeo Pirelli Am champion, Ange Bardi. So a 5-second time penalty for Ange Bardi. And now Thomas Neubauer has got a back marking car between himself and John Wartique. And there's strife for the number 22 car of Niccolo Marinangeli, who does make it back onto the tarmac. And this is the reason why, as we can see in replay here, to the inside of Luca Nurmi, and unfortunately the requested grip wasn't available for him. He did very well to get it out of the gravel, but we do get a safety car now, and with 3.5 minutes remaining, it's going to be pretty unlikely, Nico, that we're going to be going back to race action.
Yeah, unfortunately, also Alessio Dono would have been given a drive-through penalty, which he won't need to take, because he unfortunately had to retire the car. So that counts for nothing. John Botique will take the win in this race. I'm sure that you are right, and there will be no more live racing. And there is the Alicia O'Donnell car parked just on the tarmac, but very much in the way of anyone trying to race that part of the track. So very, very unlucky. As you said, a result certainly of that incident coming together.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it. The car was mishandling straight away, wasn't it? There, you could see it, and that in replay. So, unfortunately, the car was always going to have to be parked, and parking it, bringing out the safety car, which means that the race, I think, with but 2.5 minutes remaining, is not going to be completed in any other fashion than behind the safety car, Nico.
Yes, unfortunately, and that means on Gibardi, obviously his 5-second penalty, which could have been very minimal overall, behind the safety car.
That's huge, doesn't it?
That becomes really huge, and behind him, right behind him, is Uchida, who races in the Asia Pacific, but then it's Christian Brunsberg, who we assume might inherit the win on the race. Alessandro Cozzi behind him. And Nigel Skondebord is the third of the M's. That's got to be a question of how bunched up everybody will be when they cross the finish line.
Yeah, because the time penalty still applies, doesn't it? And going to be very, very interesting. Well, we've only got just over 1 minute and 3/4 to wait for that. So Botique, Neubauer, Penn, and then it's going to be, we think, Christian Brunsberg, Alessandro Cozzi, and Nigel Schoendewerd that will take 1, 2, 3 in terms of the Pirelli AMS. So safety car is out. The Scuderia Nicky Iron Links team then, Deborah Mayer there is the team boss, and you can see the T-shirts being unraveled, Nico. I hope they've got one in an XL size for their old mate up here, meaning you, of course, but actually with your weight loss, XS would fit you nicely, saying Doriane Penn champion, I'm sure. Because it is going to be enough, and Doriane Penn will take the championship. I have to be honest with you, Nico, it's richly deserved. My goodness me, the safety car is coming in this lap. We're going to get 1 lap, aren't we, of racing action?
Yes, indeed. It looks like that was a really, really quick recovery off the car, and that means the safety car coming in. We've got 46 seconds, and that will be enough. So forget all we said. It's going back to live action.
And my goodness me, if anyone's going to be determined, it's going to be Thomas Neubauer here. So you can see John Botique virtually putting it into the boot of the safety car as we go racing. The top 3 have broken away somewhat. Doriane Penn, well, the championship is in her hands. So here, I think John Botique controlled the pace of that restart really well. Doriane Penn then on the outside of Thomas Neubauer. Surely she will tuck in behind Thomas Neubauer here. Sure enough, she does. And then we see Luca Nurmi, but let's focus on the top 3. And there is Doriane Penn. We are on the final lap now. Didn't think we were going to get a lap of clean racing. I thought it was going to be finished under the safety car. However, well done to the recovery team for getting Alicia O'Donnell's car to a position of safety really, really quickly and allowing us for this 1-lap shootout to end the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Racing here at Mugello this weekend, where we are assuming that barring any disaster, Doriane Penn in that P3 position, despite John Botique doing everything he can by taking fastest lap, throwing the kitchen sink out of the boot, doing everything he can and winning the race, it's still not going to be enough for the championship to go necessarily to Imola. However, nothing is guaranteed until the checkered flag flies, and we are about half a lap away from seeing that happen. So Botique leading from Thomas Neubauer, from Doriane Penn, ahead of Luca Nurmi, Max Mugelli, and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. Drive-through penalties being issued left, right, and center, and Jay Park getting one of those for the Asia Pacific Shell driver that's also competing in this race. And there you can see the T-shirts are donned. Sarah Bovey down there, who is another one of the Iron Dames that Michelle mentioned earlier on when she was with us on the air. This will be it. Let's take nothing away from John Botique, who is going to win the race following an amazing overtake right at the beginning of the race. John Botique wins. Thomas Neubauer takes P2, but Doriane Penn, in taking P3, has sealed the Trofeo Pirelli Championship. Well done to Doriane Penn. Driving the what, Nico?
Absolutely great racing. Then it's Luca Nurmi, Max Mugelli, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. Ange Bardi crosses the finish line first from the AMs, is relegated behind Uchida, but stays ahead of Alessandra Cozzi in the AMs for Europe. So that means, in spite of the penalty, with that one lap, it was enough to keep P1 in spite of a 5-second drop.
I really fed you a line. Said driving the car from Scuderia Nicky Iron Links, car number 83, the
Pink Hornet, of course, championship Hornet material.
When does a Hornet become a champion? Forget it. The Doriane Penn is a champion. So there you can see Rahul Frey as well. There's Claudio Schiavone, Deborah Mayer, who is the team principal. All are very, very happy indeed because Doriane Penn has taken the Trofeo Pirelli Championship. And for the AM drivers, it's going to be, Ange Bardi, Alessandro Cozzi. Oh, there's just so much to say following the end of that race because it was so dramatic. And there, all of a sudden, the sea of pink becomes even pinker, if that's possible, down there in pit lane. And of course, very, very importantly, Doriane Penn is going to be on the podium. So there, the T-shirts are unwrapped. Do you know, I always think it's a bit of a worry, isn't it, when whoever is responsible for ordering said T-shirts. Do you know what I mean, Nico? It's a bit of a... it's not a job I would like to do, I don't think, you know, just in case.
It's jinxing it to the maximum, but obviously you want to be prepared, and prepared for this kind of result was John Wateague.
Yeah, taking the win ahead of Thomas Neubauer and Doriane Penn. Luca Nurmi P4, Max Mugello P5, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi P6, then it's Niccolo Marinangeli and Alicia Dono, then P7 and P8. And to the classification in terms of Trofeo Pirelli AM, Yude Uchida, Ange Bardi, Alessandro Cozzi, Nigel Schundeverd ahead of Nobuhiro Imada, Hanno Laskowski, Alexandra Bochet ahead of Michael Bochet, and then it was Christian Brunsborg. Nicolo Rossi, I feel for, he didn't finish the race, and that was a great shame because he'd done a great job in qualifying earlier on today. So we await the cars into the pit lane then. And the celebrations, I predict, will be loud and proud for this young lady, Doriane Penn, who, with one round to go, has sealed the Trofeo Pirelli Championship. So there you can see she brings the car into the pit lane. And we'll head towards her team, who are pretty happy. And, well, John Wateague, I have to say, we've seen some impressive driving from John this year, Nico. But that overtake right at the start of the race, I rather think John had got the raving ump, you know, because things had not gone his way. And if that's the motivation, it certainly worked.
Yeah, definitely. And you will feel good about this, and you will feel good about Imola and the World Final race in 3 weeks' time. So that's good. And, well, this is the moment. Doriane Penn, champion.
She has done it, and it was really nice for us to have Michelle Gatting on the air with us as well, notwithstanding the fact that she needs to go down there and celebrate, of course, with the rest of the team, but she took time to be on the air with us, and she, of course, was in this position last year, Nico.
Yes, absolutely.
She knows what it feels like. There you can see Francie Bayer then from the team running down there. You can see various team members running down there to congratulate their driver, Doriane Penn. We know that Michelle is here. We know that Sarah Bovey is here, and we know that Rahul Frey is here. And there is Sarah Bovey. You could just see to the left-hand side of your screen. She's got sunglasses on, and everyone getting in to offer their congratulations. Can't see Michelle. She's already legged it for the airport, mate. I think. Oh. Okay, so as Doriane Penn is lifted up to celebrate her victory in the Trofeo Pirelli Championship, let's take a look at our pit show from Mugello here. Enjoy. So that was our pit show. Hope you enjoyed that. And there you can see the crowd assembling down there, ready to salute the podium down there. And the podiums being prepared. And let's go down to the pit lane now. John Vortique, what a star you are.
John, it's completely fair that we talk about your fantastic race as well today.
Yeah, I think the most beautiful was the start. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it takes a bit of risk. I tell you, all the weekend was a bit difficult for me because I couldn't do one lap with the new tires without traffic. So, yeah, I know my strong point is the start, so I have tried everything to brake very late, and then after it was quite difficult to manage the race because some safety car in, out, so with the tire pressure will go down, it's quite difficult to manage at the restart, but at the end it's P1, and big thanks to the team for the hard work.
Thank you very much.
Well done to John Vortique, absolutely brilliant job. Enjoy the highlights now.
Doriane, all season you have been so calm, but today on the grid I could feel the tension. But you made it happen. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. A lot of emotion right now. Yeah, but basically the season was very strong, and yeah, very happy to achieve that with the team, because it's not only me, it's also all the people around, and the car was always perfect at every run, and I'm very happy. Yeah.
Last year, Michelle Gatting, this year too. What an achievement, not only for your team, but for women in motorsport.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a lot of meaning. I mean, Michelle won last year, and I'm happy to follow her path. And yeah, it's important to show that women is also here with men, and we can win the championship.
Massive congratulations. Thank you.
Great to hear from Doriane, who has done an absolutely brilliant job this season. There's no question about that. We'll get confirmation of the classification, of course, to come. Here is the leaderboard even. Doriane Penn then on 184 points means she leads John Vortique by 37, which is enough for her to seal the championship. John Vortique P2 in the Drivers' Championship, Luca Nurmi P3. Then it's Max Mugello, Alicia O'Donoghue, and then the rest of the order you can see. What is critical is that 184 points is enough for Doriane Penn to take the Trofeo Pirelli Drivers' Championship, and that she has done. And of course, she will be on the podium for taking P3, and therefore will be pretty chipper about that, I would suggest, as a T-shirt is going on, and we're going to be heading to the podium next. So the team await, and there you can see all dressed in pink ready to celebrate Doriane Pen's P3, but more importantly, of course, her Drivers' Championship win. Let's not lose sight of the fact that John Bourtique is on the top step of the podium, having taken a remarkable win. Deborah Mayer and Claudia Schiavone down there to the very right-hand side of your picture. The architects, of course, of the Iron Lynx team, and Iron Dames, which is the team within which the likes of Doriane Pen and Michel Gatting, and there is Doriane. And there you can see Alessandro Cozzi right behind, and Elisa, who works in the PR department here at Ferrari, and is so much of a big help to us, as Ange Bard congratulates Doriane as well. So they're all in the podium assembly area, which is literally a stone's throw from our commentary studio here. In fact, if I put my right hand out of the window now, you might just be able to see it. No, you can't. So we await Michele Mambelli to bring the drivers out onto the podium. 2022 Ferrari Challenge Europe, the pocket rocket is Doriane. And yeah, the team will all salute the fact that she has done such a great job. She's been really calm throughout the course of the season, and that calmness has paid off. And there, the congratulations being afforded to all the drivers there. I think that was Andrea Bertolini, who, of course, himself a hugely successful racing driver, and maintains that position with his Competizione GT official duties as a Ferrari GT driver. There's Rahal Frey to the right-hand side of the picture. Oh, Rahal, that's typical. Just as I was going to talk about you, she's out of the way. Another great racing driver. And there we can see everyone standing by for the podium, which is being delayed a little bit. I don't know the reason why behind that. As we look at the crash. There's Michele Mambelli with microphone held ready for the podium, and I think Michele is now going to spark into the podium ceremony. Here we go then. Podium time for Trofeo Pirelli.
Terza classificata sul podio, Doriane Pen, campionessa 2022.
So we follow Doriane Pen with our RF camera all the way to step 3 on the podium, but that's enough for her to take the championship. Here's Thomas Neubauer and John Bourtique with a fantastic performance in the race today. He takes P1, and the national anthem will play out now for John Bourtique. Anthem plays out for John Bourtique. Grand applauso. Claudio Schiavone there. And there you can see the D2P team, who of course engineer John Bourtique. And here's Andrea Bertolini then to make the trophy presentations. So Doriane Pen then, with that P3 trophy, it is enough of course for her to take the championship. Thomas Neubauer receives his trophy for P2. And, of course, the P1 trophy going the way of John Bourtique. So, from Pirelli Motorsport, of course, John Bourtique adds that trophy too. And everyone will get together for the photographs. It'll be a struggle to get everyone on the top step of the podium, but they try their best. And there you can see Doriane Pen, John Bourtique, and Thomas Neubauer.
Grande successo per questo monomarca, il più bel monomarca al mondo. Ancora qualche secondo, invito Lucio e Andrea ad uscire
Andrea
dalla zona
makes haste his exit.
E ragazzi, siamo pronti. Lo show non è finito senza
I rather think Doriane's going to win the race for the bubbly. Oh, I'm wrong. It was John Mortigue, definitely. Here is the best Doriane Penn. It's like a greatest hits album. Saluting the success of Doriane Penn. So now, Drivers' Championship points for the Trofeo Pirelli AM. Ange Bardi on 184 points ahead of Marco Pulcini. Nicola Rossi P3 in the Drivers' Championship points, and it is going to be the Trofeo Pirelli AM podium that we see now. Top step of the podium, Ange Bardi. Then we see Alessandro Cozzi and Nigel Schoendeverd, P3.
Applausi, 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 sempre Andrea Bertolini che presenta il trofeo per Nigel Schoendeverd, terzo classificato, trofeo per Alessandro Cozzi che aggiunge un altro grande ricordo alla sua bacheca.
Andrea Bertolini, official Ferrari GT competizione driver, awarding the trophy to Nigel Schoendeverd, Alessandro Cozzi, and our dominator here in the Trofeo Pirelli AM 2022, four-time champion in the Ferrari Challenge, Ange Bardi, also given and well-deserved the Pirelli trophy, holding them aloft, everybody to the top step of the podium. What a deserving podium. It was a bit of a crazy race today. No craziness, Ange Bardi being P1. Kind of gotten used to that. The SF Côte d'Azur Cannes driver from France taking the win and having clinched the championship already yesterday. His focus and everybody else's focus in the championship will be on the world final race on Sunday in Imola, even though there are 2 more rounds of the championship to go, but at least the title has been awarded. As we said, we have our competitors from Asia Pacific as well here, and obviously we also give them credit with their own podiums. Imada on P2 in the Trofeo Pirelli AM for Asia Pacific, and it's Yudai Uchida who takes the win.
Il nostro grande applauso.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Well done. Great race also. Andrea Bertolini in charge of trophy presentation. P2 trophy from Nobuhiro Imada, and the winner's trophy, Yudai Uchida, holds it aloft, proud and well deserved, as well as the Pirelli trophy. And obviously we will see these drivers again in Imola when again the European Trofeo Pirelli will share the grid with our Asian Pacific competitors. Before then on Sunday, obviously we bring all the series together. We will have North America, the UK, Europe and Asia Pacific. Here is your winner, Yudai Uchida for Rosso Scuderia Trofeo Pirelli Am winner here in Mugello Race 2. What a picture. And we're not done with the podiums, because we will go right to the next one. Because we also have our Shell and Shell M competitors from Asia here in this race, and that means 2 more podiums for you to enjoy and celebrate the achievements of our drivers and competitors.
Passiamo alla Coppa Shell, secondo podio dei 3 in programma. Terzo classificato Coppa Shell Serie APAC.
Coppa Shell Asia Pacific, Motohiko Isozaki is our P3 driver.
Secondo gradino del podio per Kanji Yagura.
Kanji Yagura taking P2, and there he comes celebrating.
E vincitore del
And here is our winner, Kazuyuki Yamaguchi, climbing the top step of the podium, and his anthem to celebrate.
L'applauso per i vincitori della Coppa Shell, trofei sempre presentati da Andrea
Ferrari
Bertolini.
Challenge Asia Pacific Coppa Shell drivers Yamaguchi, Yagura and Isozaki, and the well-deserved trophy, Andrea Bertolini, making his trophy presentation. He really has his work cut out today. Lots of trophies that he is allowed to present to our drivers and competitors. Very, very proud moment here for our drivers.
Trofeo anche per il gentleman, Andrea, trofeo gentleman ancora per il vincitore.
Gentleman trophy as well, going the way of Kazuyuki Yamaguchi as well.
Foto tutti insieme, please, together, all in the first step of this podium.
Team photography for our records, for the yearbook.
Okay.
And photos for the memories. Kazuyuki Yamaguchi, the burgundy and gold Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo, another car we will see again in just a few weeks' time when we go to Imola. I think we missed the champagne a little bit. Well, there's still some of it left. And that is Kanji Yagura really taking it to his competitors. A very fair race, not so sure about the fairness of the podium trophy and certainly the champagne, but good job, gentlemen. That was really, really good. And that leaves us with just one more podium to do for this weekend. It's been a great weekend, great racing here in Mugello, and that means 4 races across the weekend, all done and dusted, save for the final podium. It is the Trofeo Pirelli, Shell M podium here for the Asia Pacific competitors. It's David Dickerin, P3 from New Zealand.
Secondo classificato Shigeru Kamihue.
Shigeru Kamihue, P2.
Vincitore.
Same podium as yesterday, and it is Baby K taking P1 and the victory for the Shell M class here in Mugello in the Asia Pacific Series. And national anthem time.
Il nostro applauso per questo podio di vincitori.
Congratulations, and great to see that all the teams, or most of the teams, have stayed around to give credit to our drivers. David Dicker getting the P3 trophy from Andrea Bertolini. Shigeru Kamui, P2, holding it aloft, and for our winner, Baby K, it is the golden trophy with the number 1.
Seconda vittoria per il pilota giapponese in questa classe Shell AM.
And it is one more team picture here on the podium before we go to the champagne for a final time. And after that, it will be time to look ahead. It's only about 18 days. And then it will be the world final. Just an hour and a half drive from here, from Mugello to Imola. And there, the final trophies, the final awards will be given. Champagne! There is the baby car. Baby K car, pink and black in all its glory. The Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo, which has given us such great entertainment across the weekend. 4 races done and completed. We look forward to the Ferrari World Finals, the Ferrari Finale Mondiale in Imola, 18 days from now. Take care and see you then.